أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم افتح علينا حكمتك وانشر علينا رحمتك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Now, there's a hadith. If you want to check the reference, Bukhari, volume 8, hadith number 234, 234, if anybody wants to check. So, in this hadith, Ibn Abbas narrates, once I stayed overnight at the house of Maymuna, and the Prophet ﷺ was there with her. Right? When it was the last third of the night, or some part of the night, the Prophet got up, looking towards the sky, and recited, "Verily, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alternation of night and day, there are indeed signs for men of understanding." The Quran, Ali Imran, chapter 3, 190, 190. From this we understand many things in the hadith, but especially getting up at night, and the first thing is looking towards the sky. It's sunnah. That is important to know. Okay, or somebody else comes here. Maybe you don't want. Okay, if somebody else comes, we can. It is interesting to notice that the way we read the hadith and the way we read the Quran. Usually, for example, one of the hadiths narrates that the Prophet ﷺ came back from an exhibition. No, expedition. Not exhibition, expedition. It was an exhibition, wasn't it? Exhibiting is what Islam is, not to really fight or kill. Now, and he asked his companions, without settling down in Medina in their houses, there was a suburban place, Beni Qurayza. There was a tribe there, and asked them to be in Beni Qurayza before praying. You must have heard this hadith. Did you? Did you? Yeah. And some people hurried, but before praying Salat Asr. Some people hurried so that the Salat Asr is getting late, so they must be there before sunset so that they will perform Salat Asr there in that area. And some people said, no, Salat Asr, praying Salat Asr is fard. So we have to pray. The Prophet asked us to hurry. So that's why he asked us, go and pray there, Salat Asr. Of course, the others said, no, since the Prophet said, don't pray Salat Asr before you arrive at this place. So we should go even the time is over. We should go and pray Salat Asr even after sunset. Doesn't matter, because the Prophet ordered us to be there before praying Salat Asr. There was an opinion, dispute or disagreement in opinions. That's quite normal. And after the Prophet came, Prophet himself arrived at the place. They said, some people interpreted your saying in this way, the other people interpreted your saying in another way. And this is an example given mostly that people may have disagreements. That's correct. This take on from the hadith is correct. Yeah, people may have disagreements. You can interpret the hadith or the verse depending on your perspective. There is no definite rule that you cannot interpret this way or another way, but there are major principles. But what I see even more important, this is important, but even more important we can learn from this hadith is when the Prophet was asked which one was right. What do you know? You said both. There is a missing point there. They said some of us did this, some of us did another. Prophet said nothing. Nothing. Didn't confirm any of them. Just nothing. That's Sunnah. That is the way the Prophet behaves. That is the way we follow the Prophet tradition. That is Sunnah. If there is a dispute, if you witness the dispute, keep quiet. That is Sunnah. Sometimes we may miss. Of course we do, but how much I don't know. We may miss. For example, we say you must have heard of those people who come from Muslim background that to wake up at night and pray Salat Tahajjud is Sunnah, and even for the Prophet is fard, but it's Sunnah. Right? You heard of it. Have you heard that when you wake up at night to look at the sky is also Sunnah? No. It's not Sunnah. It's not written in the traditional books which describe Sunnah. Why? Because we are more ritualistically minded and read the Quran and the Hadith accordingly. That's why most of the verses of the Quran, which encourages us to communicate with the creation, to interact with them, to take lesson from them, this way. So when people come, Your tea is guaranteed, don't worry. Now, and also, that's yours as well. This one.
Thank you.
Yeah. There are, if not thousands, but hundreds of verses in the Quran encourages us or teaches us that we have to pay attention to the creation in general by mentioning even the description of paradise, description of hell. Everything is from what we have to pay attention to them and relate them to our eternal life. And even in the description of hell, we have to relate to them, whatever how the description is made, and pay attention to this and relate to our eternal life, whether we have the right attitude, confirmation of what is narrated to us, what is related to us, or rejection. But we have to relate. Okay. I think we can pass this one so they can follow the page. Till the page number is 236. 236. So why is it so? Why don't we take notice of the Quran when it mentions beautiful gardens here and refers to paradise? We think of paradise. We don't see that usually. We don't see that. I have to pay attention to the gardens here. It is sunnah. It's sunnah to pay attention to the gardens here as well. Or not only sunnah, it's when you understand the sunnah means the prophetic way of life. Yeah. When the Quran mentions about it, it is the command of God. But we refer it to the hereafter. Now pay attention to our relationship with the gardens here, or the flowing rivers here, and springs everywhere. Life giving springs everywhere. We don't pay attention to the fact that we have to be concerned with this creation here. You see the point at all? Does it make sense? No, it depends on our attitude, our understanding. Accordingly, we interpret the Quran or Hadith. According to we take lesson from the Quran and Hadith, etc. What these are, of course, we are not talking about this subject so that how we should learn, how we should read the Hadith, how we should read the Quran. That's not our subject today. But our subject is what religion means to us. What religion means to us. If we understand religion, only some certain rituals only, they are important, of course, no doubt about it, but if we reduce religion to only rituals and some cultural, mixed with culture, not only cultural, doesn't necessarily mean that has nothing to do with religion. But if we mix the rituals into culture, then it becomes, the rituals also become cultural. When you turn religion into this cultural setting, Even we read the hadith, even we read the verse, no, no, it is a mistake, Mr. Nothing is important. The title, the name are not important. What it contains is important. So don't pay attention. Who is this man? When did he leave? None of your messages. We have to be universal. I'm joking, but at the same time, I wanted to say something. Don't pay attention to the titles. So what we do, because we have an understanding of religion only concerning the rituals. When we read the Quran, we look for rituals. When we read the hadith, we look for rituals. When we read the hadith, ritualistic side of it. When the hadith, for example, reading this hadith, we say, oh, the Prophet used to wake up at night and make tahajjud prayer, night prayer, late night prayer. Now, it is sunnah for us, it is fast for him. You must have heard this maybe 10 times at least in your life, maybe more. But did anybody tell you that before performing the tahajjud prayer, to look at the sky is the foundation of tahajjud prayer? If you have never looked at the sky, if you have not get excited, why do you pray, man? The prayer is the response. Prayer is the way to express yourself, your excitement, what you have experienced. If you have no excitement, if you have nothing to respond to, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't know, baseless. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't do. Just I'm trying to draw our attention that the Quran, let's say Quran mentions about prayer. How many times? 20 times. All right. Fasting, how many times? How many times the fasting is mentioned in the Quran? Once or twice? Depending on some words you use for fasting or for other types of fasting. So, once. How many times samawat mentioned in the Quran? Sorry? More than? 10. More than 10. Sorry? Sorry? 7? No. More, it is an auction, increase. So go, check samawat at least 300 something times. So fasting is the fundamental mentioned in the Quran once. Samawat is mentioned in the Quran 300 times. I don't know exactly, but around there. Earth is mentioned another 170 times. I don't know. I'm roughly trying to recollect from my previous knowledge. It's not important, but huge amount compared to fasting. And relating, having a relationship with the samawat is not religious, but fasting is religion. There's a disproportion, obvious disproportion. There's something missing. That's for you waiting for. So you won't feel stranger next, read and sit to a person next to you are familiar with them between this. We call them different corner. So anyways, why is it like this? Why this crucial, devastating to me, disproportion is taking place among the students of the Quran. there is something wrong going on. No opposition, no objection. There is definitely something wrong going on. So, inshallah, we will follow the sunnah. We won't follow the culture. Sunnah means, sunnah, the way of the Prophet. Yeah, the way of the Prophet was like this. Waking up at night, there are several narrations, not only one narration. Another narration, in Bukhari again, the Prophet woke up and he rubbed his eyes and looked towards the sky through the window, or maybe ceiling. There was no ceiling, we don't know, I don't know. So looked towards the sky and then made wudu and prayed. There's another hadith. And recited this, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ إلى آخر الآية. This is a good example for us. That's what we are going to do now, inshallah. Okay.
Sorry, just to play devil's advocate, is it like very clearly that he's looking at the sky in a sense of wonderment, or is it just checking the time, like to make sure that it's
But as he looked at, excuse me, in the narration of the hadith, as he looked at the sky, he didn't say, oh, it is time for Salatul Fajr. He said, Inna fi khalq as-samawati wal ard. Definitely in the creation of the heavens and the earth, there are signs. That's good. To draw our attention. There are signs. Prayer in its essence, okay.
signs that tell you when to pray?
There are signs. No.
But just sorry, that's exactly, I know you're just fooling around. That's exactly the point. It's not signs to tell you to pray, they're signs to remind you to pray.
Yeah, signs. Because prayer, by definition, is a response. For example, if I stay here, thank you, Jane. And he will say, why? What? For what? Yeah? For what? Why are you thanking? Then thank you is a thanking, praising is a response. So when I pray, prayer is a response. If I don't have anything, what should I respond? What am I responding to? That's yours now.
Thank you so much.
Here. The page number we are going to read from here. We can come maybe. Yeah, move this way. Okay. We can come. So if you are not, if we don't have anything to respond to, if I say thank you, praise be to God, it means Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, as I did to Jim will say, thank you for what? Thank you for what? For what? I have to prepare myself. This preparation is only possible. There is no other way, I don't think, that otherwise imagination. The only possible if you are interacting with how God treats you in your real life. Yeah, maybe a friend visits you, maybe you receive a call from one of your friends, your relatives, or you see the weather outside, you breathe fresh air, or a good news, or I don't know. Nowadays, you don't have to go out. Maybe you watched an interesting scene that God's creation is exposed to you. You get excited, and you saw that, you realize that something is going on in the universe. You imagine that you are interacting with it intellectually, emotionally, whatever, and you are charged. Now you say, I'm very pleased. Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah. Then prayer makes sense. If we are only ritually minded people, or no, if we reduce religion to rituals only, which is essential, but if you are not ready for it, as we said last week, if you don't prepare yourself, why do you go on Hajj? You are not ready. If you don't really prepare yourself, why do you fast? You are not ready. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't fast, you shouldn't go on pilgrimage, you shouldn't pray, but missing dimension of the teaching of religion is very dramatic. Dramatic. To me, is if you really proportionately be more concise, 5% of the Quran mentions about our ritualistic responsibilities. 5%. 95% of the Quran establishes the foundations. Unfortunately, the case is that we reduce religion to 95%, so to 5%, because 95% is the foundation of the 5%. Without foundation, without establishing the 95% of the subjects of the Quran mentions, without establishing these foundations, the rest, the 5%, which we are crazy about it, we pay attention to it, which may be right to be crazy about it, but with no base. 95%, which is the base, is missing. It becomes just imitation, repetition, just, I'll pay my due and that's it, I'm done. Why do you pay? If I don't pay the tax, they would just put me in prison, so I must be secure there. Pay the tax and forget about the rest. What they are doing with it, why do you pay the tax, and what you are expecting as a result. No. Just if I don't pay the tax, they will punish me. So I want to be on the secure side. So I'll pay the tax and forget about it. In America, a little bit, people are aware. They say, okay, when you pay the tax, and then you take care of what they are doing with your money. Yeah, you pay. They say taxpayers' money, taxpayers' money. State cannot do it as they want because you are taking care of it. A little bit in America. I don't think the rest of the world is aware of the tax consciousness. I found in America, nowhere else. Tax consciousness doesn't exist. When the government does something, the people think that, government is favoring them. That's their money. That's their payment. No one is favoring you. That's your right. They are just supposed to organize it. But this tax consciousness is unfortunately lacking in majority of the places here. So it means, tax, we said the result of paying tax, you take care of it. That was just an analogy. When you pray, when you do something, you have certain actions, it must be the result of the previous preparations, our previous preparations. These previous preparations are mostly missing among the Quran readers, especially Quran readers, because you cannot find, although I hate comparing religions, but you cannot find in the Gospels many references to the creation. You cannot find in certain parts of the Old Testament Hebrew Bible that not that many reference to the creation, but in some parts there are. So it's in between. But the Quran is the pioneers of giving reference to the creation, and it is not for nothing. It is a must for us actually for Allah to be aware of it, inshallah. Yes, sir.
I don't know. I just wanted to say that I don't think it's like this contemplation about the heavens and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's just Muslims are not doing enough of it. I think everyone doesn't do it enough. The world that we're living in now, it's so fast paced. It's very difficult to put yourself in that state of mind and where you just have to stop a little bit and appreciate the things around you and think about it a little bit. It's you all the time you're running from one thing to another.
So that's what we have to remind each other. And my point is not accusing anybody, not because I hate using people's sense of guilt, which is very common. You're accusing people, you are not good enough, you are not good enough, you are not doing enough. So this is exploitation of human weakness. It is not honest, especially while they are doing fundraising. They really exploit it a lot. So people say, okay, I'm giving $1,000, go home and say, oh God, what did I do? Did I have really enough for my such and such? But I'm not using this. I don't like to use this sense of guilt to establish the principles, which kind of connection we should have towards religion or towards our spiritual side, spirituality. Our spiritual side must be nourished, must be fostered by our relationship, connection with the external physical world. Because this physical world is at least, I'm using the religious terminology here, is at least as essential as the Quran is. There's no difference between the Quran and the physical world. Quran is the word of God, physical word is the act of God. If you want to get in touch with God, if you want to remember God, it is equally valid. One of them is word, the other one is act. But the word of the same creator, act of the same creator. Unfortunately, we sanctify Mus'haf, the book, in the form, the volume book. We never sanctify the creation. So creation is simple, but the book, you cannot touch the book without being cleaned. How can you touch God's work, not word, God's work without being cleaned? This is God's work. Now we have to have a wider mind. We have to really reanalyze our case. So we are very sensitive about the book, the Mus'haf. We are not sensitive at all about the creation. That's in principle. In principle, we have to pay attention to it. And if we are not careful about the creation, of course, we cannot turn Mus'haf into Quran. We read Mus'haf. We don't listen to God. Because listening to speaking God is reading the Quran. But the written text, reading Mus'haf, if you turn it if you turn your Mus'haf into listening to the speaker God, you have to have the base for it. How? How can you have the base for it? Only taking the creation as the act of God and the speech of God to you through creating. Speech of God through creating. If you listen to God in the creation, it means you are looking at the clouds. I see the clouds there, that's why. You are looking at the clouds, but you are really seeing what God has already prepared for you. He's demonstrating himself to you. He is making himself known to you. Then it becomes possible, only then it becomes possible when you read the book. The book becomes the word of God to you. If you don't hear what God is saying through his actions, you cannot hear what God is saying through the book, the pages. That's why the Quran has lost its dynamism. Quran has become a static book.
What does that mean?
Book, Musaf. It's written book here, sacred book here. But when you read it, if you use the Musaf as a means of conversation, it becomes dynamic. You establish your relationship with the creator, with the speaker in the book. So you receive the message from him, you respond back to him. But unfortunately, we read the Musaf as a melody book or something like this. We get enjoyment with the beautiful recitation. And it's a reduction. I've been thinking, why is it so? Why we usually don't promote the community which respects the Mus'haf as the word of God, teach them how to read the Mus'haf, turn it into a conversation. He speaks to you and you listen to him and understand something, internalize something and make it yours. So my creator told me this today when I read this page. It's a means of conversation. I say, why is it not? Why is it not? Because we don't use the work of God, act of God as a means of communication. As if looking at the word, communicating with the creation is something materialistic. Well, it means the matter is bad. We look at or we are interested in spirituality, not in matter. We are not naturalists. Look at the mentality. Leave the huge evidence that God continuously reveals himself to me, that here I am. These are materialistic people's property, not mine. Denying God's speech to you. Of course, if you have not educated yourself in listening to God through the speech he makes, through his action, you cannot turn Mus'haf into Quran. That is the formula. I got it. You cannot turn the Mus'haf into the Quran. Quran is active. Quran is eternal. Yeah, Quran is non-created speech of God. It means absolute speech of God. Mus'haf is paper, man. Now, it doesn't mean that we should throw the Musaf away. This is irrelevant. We are trying to establish the formula, the principle, how we should really practice religion, how we should become spiritual. Yeah, that's to me, that's the only way to become spiritual, to communicate with the Creator through his action. See what he's telling me in the world, huge universe is for me. But the other, if a spiritual activity or any spirituality which is not based on the real world is imaginary. It's not human, it's imagination. I am just contemplating. About what? Contemplating. Man, I don't know about the other cultures, but Turkey, the turkey, the animal turkey, yeah, they always look like these deep thinking creatures. So they are likened, are you thinking like a turkey does? It means empty, vacuum thinking. Unfortunately, it's very, very common. It's becoming more and more common, thinking in vacuum. I think some people may be going to do that. Thinking in vacuum. Be realistic. Go.
I have a question. For creation, does it necessarily have to be the clouds, the mountains, the rivers, the springs? Or if I live in a slum, which is completely an urban landscape, is it the same as looking at people's actions and the way humans act and the way interactions are in the subway? Do you have to get out of the city and to go look at?
No, but it is more, it is less polluted. So it is much easier if you go to the outside in a suburb. But in order to go to suburb, I think you have to drive 50 miles in New York. So it is less polluted, less veiled. So you see the people's dirt, and rather than seeing that it's the people's dirt and Allah is acting there, it becomes more, the veil becomes thicker. But if you are conscious of it, you may be, and you can easily overcome this human corruption.
But it's easier, purely.
Yeah. Well, go to the forest, you say, oh, God, thank you. But when you go to the subway, you say,
yeah, but you can look at the subway as something that, God gave us a mind to think with, and the subway is something that we were able to put together. I don't want to say make or create, but we were able to put it together. So that's a part of his creation, because it's the metal and the iron and all the other stuff.
Yes, but it needs a second thought. Yeah, but it is not impossible at all. But as long as you do it wherever you want to do. But we are talking here how to make it or where to make it. We are not talking about how and where and when to make it. We are talking about the fundamental teachings of God. The universe is a teacher. Means God's teaching tool. The Quran, the speech of God, is also God's teaching tool, and they must be combined. They must be united. Then we can have a healthy, permanent sense of religion. Otherwise, we are bound to reduce religion to certain rituals and read the Quran and recite the verses which are related to rituals. So you find a thick book about the virtues of the donation or helping, how do you say, sadaqah, what is charity. Not like that book. Okay? Really charity, giving to charity is really essential. But foundation is not there. That's why it becomes only superficial. So in order to use the superficial sense or practice, when you have the charity, and if you want to encourage people to charity, you have to make them feel guilty. You are piling up, and you never think of those people in somewhere suffering from our Muslim brothers, etc. You should start saying, yes, really what I'm doing, exactly what this man is saying, and emotionally charged there, and start giving. Half an hour later, it is gone.
Does it make sense to do the ritual if you don't have the foundation?
No, we are not here talking about the alternatives. We are talking about what dimension is missing, the missing dimension. That's why the rituals become heavy to us to perform, because there's no base. I'm not really permanently convinced. We are talking about the principles, not as an alternative. Rituals are not alternative to watching or looking towards the sky. No, watching towards or looking towards the sky is not alternative to prayers, but they must be combined. We are here just emphasizing on the aspect of this unity, this wholeness, or whole teaching of the Quran, with the missing aspect of this whole, which is foundation. Foundations are missing. We should talk about more to do with our relationship with the foundations. Inshallah, we are going to do that. It was a long introduction, but who's going to read? Whoever has the book.
Which version?
Now, page 237. Okay. Now, do you mind? Do you have the book? Yeah. The introductory part, which is not in the, I think it is not in the handouts, printouts.
It starts with one time.
Yeah. Sorry?
It starts with one time on top.
Yes. Close it comfortably, slowly, so that we will get into the inshallah meaning. Yeah.
One time at night in a high spot on
And a mountain.
a mountain
A mountain. Yeah.
near Barla,
Near a place. The names are not important.
near a
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Near a place. It's mountain.
I was looking at the face of the heavens when the following lines suddenly occurred to me.
So he was looking at the face of the heavens.
It's not on the handout. It's just-
No, it's not on the handout in the book. Yeah, that is what we read the hadith, and as an extension of the meaning of the hadith, that is the sunnah. That is the sunnah means, doesn't mean in fiqh terms sunnah, wajib, fard, wajib, sunnah. No, that is the prophetic life. That's how the prophet used to live. So that is the following the practice of the prophet. We say, in order to make the subject clear, for example, belief in oneness of God, becoming aware of oneness of God is sunnah. Yeah, that's we call it in belief terms, not in fiqh terms. So I was looking at the face of the heavens. It means looking towards sky. Okay. Yep.
With the imagination, I heard the speaking of the stars through the tongue of disposition.
Now, excuse me, I'm interrupting you, but now he looked at the stars, he charged. Now, he has received something. Now he has to respond. It makes something out of this experience. That is belief. That is the confirmation. If you have nothing in your in your previous understanding in your mind and say, I believe in God. It's not a response to anything. It is not belief, it is culture. So you have to experience eat your brownie and get the taste and like it, enjoy, and then say, I believe that this taste has been created for me specially. So my God is treating me, the creator of this taste is treating me personally. He is my Lord. He is my Lord. Establish the personal relationship with God. But without having this experience, when you say Allahumma, what do you mean? Who are you talking about? Oh my God. Who are you talking about? Rabbana. What for what? What? What did Rabbana is my sustainer? What did I sustain for you? I don't know, Rabbana. So as a result, he says, I heard the speaking of the stars. Look, receiving something through the tongue of disposition as they are created. Okay, sister.
And that is how the lines were written. Since I do not know the rules of versification, they were not written accordingly, but as they occurred to me. The piece is taken from the fourth letter and the last part of the first stopping place of the 32nd word.
So this is giving a reference. Doesn't matter. We got 2 points here. First, looking at the face of the heavens and hearing that the stars are speaking to him. Now he will say, what did he make out of this experience? I would like to share with you actually one of the verses is there. It's not in the text. And the hadith said, verily in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of the night and the day, there are signs for those people who reflect, who think, who look at it and think. Okay? And carries on. There are other verses, Ali Imran. What was the number? The verse number, Ali Imran. 3rd chapter 3, verse number.
It's one of the last 10 verses.
Yeah. Okay, 190. You can read 191 as well. It is even 189 also. We're all related to this. So other verses related to our subject. 50, chapter 50, and did I not sin? No. Chapter 50, verse 6. Right? So you can read it. I will read it in its original form. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أفلم ينظروا إلى السماء فوقهم كيف بنيناها وزيناها وما لها من فروج. That's the verse, that's in a command. Like ordering, إقم الصلاة, آتوا الزكاة. Exactly, أفلم ينظروا. Have they not looked at? Do they not look at the heavens? فوقهم? It's not hidden. It's on top of you. Yeah, everywhere, wherever you go. That was my joke. Some of my friends, in my youth, not many people used to come to Europe or other countries. It was very difficult to go out of the country. You have to be privileged or not only rich, but at the same time you have to have the mind that you can go out of the country, another country. speak different language. Anyway, so it was a little bit exciting among my friends. They were saying, how is the first time, not the first time, but this happened when I was in England, UK. So the people were saying, how is it look like there? I said, the same thing. There's no difference. The sun is the same, moon is the same, sky is the same, trees, the birds, the mountains, the people are the same. Only some people speak in another language that you learn. It's not impossible. But everything is the same. Creation is the same. I think God doesn't own Turkey only. The UK also belongs to God. So it was a joke, but at the same time, some people feel very comfortable in the place where they are born. But that is the sign of the lack of realization that wherever you go, God is with you. Wherever you are, God is with you. This is a verse as well, in this sense. So why do you feel alien? The owner of the land is with you. Either this part of the land or that part of the land. The land belongs to him, you belong to him, you identify yourself with him. So he must be present in your life. How? By becoming aware and conscious that this place here, we are breathing the atmosphere, we are getting the light from the sun, belongs to the same God, wherever you are born, or you call it, this is the place, my birthplace, the same. This, how they say, it is conversely proportionate. Less the less we are aware of our connection with God, more attached we feel to the land where we live. The more we become conscious of God, the owner of the land, the universe, the less it becomes related to this part of the world, to that part of the world. You were grown up, you experience. Anybody else? What do you want to ask?
Some question, like, don't you feel that certain people need you, or a certain place needs you more than others do, right? So say I'm from a developing country, I don't feel the US needs me. It needs educated people to, Pakistan needs educated people to come back and do something for the people there who are suffering. So don't you feel that certain places on earth, we all have a purpose, and sometimes certain places or people need you, and maybe I don't know if that's something that God has kind of placed there. Like my parents might need me. They're my only set of parents. I'm their child. Like no one else is gonna change that relationship, right?
Yeah.
So aren't there different needs on earth that we need to try to address?
Wherever you go, your parents belong to your God. The atmosphere belongs to the creator of this world. That is that consciousness we are talking about. So why are you here? For a reason, for education, or for your relatives are here, the parents are here. Okay, but we are talking about the awareness of the fact that wherever you go, this place belongs to the same God. So whether your parents are here or in somewhere else, they need you, you have to have your relationship with your parents with the consciousness that this is the circumstances or conditions created by your God who owns the whole universe, not only that place. So I think if you don't mind, if I use this word that came to my mind, tongue, confusion lies here. We are talking about the existential side of it, and your presentation was the sociological side of the matter. So you can go, if you think that, in Brazil they need you, you feel that you may be more more beneficial to the other people or to yourself, go there. But never forget that Brazil is God's property, as well as the UK or the Pakistan or United States, as we call it, Canada. That doesn't matter. So we are talking about the existential side of it. How are we going to relate ourselves to the place where we are? Wherever we are the guests of the same Lord. Yeah? That is the consciousness we have to establish. We are not saying that you shouldn't go anywhere else or we have to go somewhere else. Wherever you go to China and there will be another place, Australia, waiting for you to go. But, I mean, consciousness is important. So, get it? Inshallah. So, أَفَلَمْ يَنْظُرُوا إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَوْقَهُم. The heavens, the sky is on top of you. It means wherever you go, sky is on top of you. That was the point, actually. You cannot get out of the sky. So, why don't you look at it? The verse says, why don't you look at it? أَفَلَمْ يَنْظُرُوا. Grammatically, why did not? But meaning the Quran speaks with past tense for assuring the fact, assuring that it happened, not necessarily that it should happen in the past. That is technical side of reading the Quranic grammar. But أَفَلَمْ يَنْظُرُوا إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَوْقَهُم, I would, and most of the, I don't know, the translators, why don't you look at the sky, which is just on top of your head? It is with you wherever you go. Yeah? كيف بنيناها? How we erected it. It means how we gave existence to it, that it's up there. How? Not why. Why? Ask him. How is the question to me? Why is nothing to do with me? It's something to do with the Creator. Ask him. How? The Quran always says how. It doesn't say why. As far as my relationship with the creation is concerned, no one says why. Because why is go and read the mind of God if you want, if you can. But how? How it is built up there. Think about it. That is fard. In fiqh terms, that is necessary. This is the foundation of your spirituality, if you like, your rationality or your religion. That is the foundation of it. كيف بنيناها? How we have built it up. Building, bina is building. How we build it up. It means how it is there, created or given existence. Think about it. وَزَيَّنَّاهَا. Not only how it's built there, how it is decorated. So how we decorated it means, for me, how it is decorated. So when you think about it, when you look at it, you understand that there is a conscious choice behind it. There's a conscious choice behind it. Somebody deliberately gave existence to it, built it, and decorated for the people. That's another verse. Decorated. You have to say, oh, somebody is really demonstrating something to me. فَمَا لَهَا مِنْ فُرُوجٍ. And there is no crack, there is no disorder, there is nothing contradictory or fruit. What do you think? Yeah, crack, sorry? Flow is the best. There's no flow. Perfect. How? I don't know. Ask the physicists, ask the astronomists, those people who are expert on it. They say the measurement has so much precise, not only in terms of billions and trillions. No, they call it 10 to power minus 220 something. Precision is absolute. You know, if there was a mistake or something crack, flow is the best word. But not only the big flow or no, 10 to power minus 220. There should be no universe as it is perfect out there. You get really, we have to say, Allahu Akbar. Huh? You can pray now. You can say, go and Allahu Akbar now. Go to the masjid now and say Allahu Akbar. Or turn to Qibla and perform your prayer. Another verse, chapter 15, again, Hijr, and verse number 16. وَلَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا وَزَيَّنَّاهَا لِلنَّاظِرِينَ. We have made constellations, buruj, stars, but the clusters of stars, constellations. You know, this is the building, but when you enter the building, you find different apartments in it, and in the apartments you find different rooms in it. For bathroom is different. Yeah, the kitchen is, especially for me, is different and it's important. And bedroom is different, living room is different, and in the living room the furniture is different. Constellations with different settings, clusters of stars. Maybe constellation makes sense. So definitely we made different segments, constellations in the heavens, and وَزَيَّنَّاهَا, and we decorated it for you. We made it beautiful so that it will attract your attention. You will see the purpose in its existence. It is not an accident, the result of accident. Cannot be decorated. لِلنَّاظِرِينَ. We have decorated for those people who look through it. Look at it, not through. Look towards it. It means for those people who observe it, behold it. That is a command from God. It means we have to behold the sky. Okay, how many times a day you pray? 5. How many times a day you look at the sky and behold it and say, this is beautifully prepared by the one who gave me this sense to admire and to get pleasure from it. Once a year? I don't think so. So you are not praying. Because your prayer has no base. Oh God.
You could be looking at something else and you feel the presence of God there.
Because the verse says,
No, like Eric was saying, like for you personally, it could be something
if you
else.
do, yeah. If you
Right?
do,
It could be the trees, or it could be the birds.
sorry?
Could be the moon
The
too.
sky in this case is just.
Yeah.
Just an example.
So it's an example, but you will get excited, yeah. Since your wife is not here, we can talk comfortably now. Now, if the food is delicious, prepared, you came home tired, or I understand that. I'm not saying you are really using your wife as a slave, but if you are working, she is using you as a slave, that's true. So you work hard 8 hours a day, yeah? Yeah? Then let her watch the recording. So you came and if you are hungry, you are tired, and welcomed you with a smiling face as usual, I'm sure. And you feel at home. Now, food is there. You enjoy it, and then you say, thank you. Yeah? It's a response. That's prayer. That symbolizes the prayer. So we have to get excited and express our excitement as a response to the Creator, the one who prepared this scenario, it was a scene for us, this beauty for us. That's looking at the sky emphasize, because in these verses, there are many others related to our subject, because we are going to listen to what the stars said to the author, what he heard from the stars. Yes? We will see that the similarity or correspondence between what you hear from the stars and what you hear from the speech of God. Then the Quran becomes alive, Quran becomes dynamic, especially in history, in Islamic history, theological history, thinking. The scholars talked about whether the Quran is created or not. Huge numbers of books have been produced. It's good. For what? Quran is alive. Quran is eternal. Quran is dynamic. You cannot read the Quranic message within a limited time and space period. Quran is everywhere. Quran is the speech of God wherever you go. Yeah. This is for what? This is for this. The importance of the subject was really obvious to the scholars, that no one can treat the speech of God as a static book. It's a dynamic speech. The significance of it is very important. But unfortunately, after these arguments, these debates went on and on centuries. And then everybody said, look, stop this philosophy. Okay, this is a philosophy. So what the Quran says, pray, fast, and go on a Hajj pilgrimage, and be nice to your parents, especially the parents love it. So, and that's it. We forget about the alive, dynamic nature of the speech of God. Those people, some of them were killed because of this argument, whether the Quran was created or not. Yeah, people were tortured, people were imprisoned. If you look at the history, all these great people wasted their time for nothing as far as we are concerned. Not for them, they gained. But it doesn't mean anything to us now. If you go and speak to a people, is the Quran created or not? Ah, come on, stop this stupid this dispute. It was the reason for a quarrel, for a fight in the community. Stop this. What? Read the Mus'haf. But they really died to establish the idea that the Quran is not created. It means not started. It is the absolute speech of God, ever alive. What was the purpose? To teach us that we have to read the Quran as an alive, dynamic speech with no time and space limitations. Unfortunately, we are not benefiting from those people's effort, unfortunately. We think that it's a philosophical discussion. No, it's a very practical discussion. It is your matter, it is my matter, it is how I how I should have a relationship with the book, the Quran. So it is not the book, it is just the dynamic speech. Here it is, the examples we are saying. The sky is above me, it is decorated for me, and the God is asking me, go and look at it. And they will speak to you. If I have this attitude, if I learn this from the Quran, when I read the Quran, Quran speaks to me in a dynamic way. If I don't look at the sky, an example. Now you can look at the mountain, or as a child, as other people, anything, the trees, and anything around you, birds, anything, any creatures. So you can communicate with them, and then when you read the Quran becomes alive. Otherwise, we read the Quran when our fathers or mothers die in the graveyards. It's a reduction. We were supposed to read the text. I'm excited. But that's the point. That's the point. Anybody wants to?
I feel it's also like you say, it's very dynamic. It's a very personal, individual interaction with Allah. It's like,
Dynamic,
yeah, for
personal,
me, it talks to
individual.
me according to my life situation, how it's changing. I read the Quran, and like out of the 10 verses I read maybe in a day, in the morning, like one verse will sometimes talk to me and my specific like life situation.
Yeah.
And it's amazing like how Eric and Habibi were saying, Habibi appreciates the feat of engineering and subways, and that's like that reminds him of like the majesty of God. And
Yeah.
Eric was like, I need to go to a nature retreat probably to appreciate.
Yeah.
That's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I babysit on the east side, and I go like it's the 25th floor, and the view is like spectacular. It reminds me of Allah's majesty, and I'm like in awe of him because of the buildings and how the light reflects against each of the buildings. So it's really a very, very personal.
Personal, dynamic.
Individual.
Dynamic.
Dynamic,
That's
absolutely dynamic.
Yeah, inshallah. So,
It's amazing.
the utterance of the stars. Shall we read that? Then listen to the stars. Now, looking at the stars means listening to the stars. Listen what they are saying. You know this guy, the author, is very tricky. فَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ. He uses the words when the Quran is recited, listen to it. He uses the word when the stars start flashing, listen to it the same. So he doesn't use arbitrarily. He listen to the stars, right? You see the delicacy of he plays with the words like this.
So are you saying that maybe this Quran is always being recited then?
Yeah, and also because it uncreated means it's always ever present. Yeah, omnipresent. Uncreated means omnipresent. It means omnipresent of speech of God. That Ibn Hanbal was about torture, and for this book he said no, it is we cannot reduce Quran to only a static time and space. Oh, so he was tortured. The Satan said, no, impossible. I cannot. So I cannot insult God's word, really. So it's not a simple matter. Really great scholars were tortured for this reason, especially during the period of Abbasid period. Oh, it was the main political problem of the empire of that time, whether Quran was created or not. It seems to be later. Abbasid period. No, starting from 750 until, of course, Common Era, until almost 1050. It means 1050, or 300 years. The main concern and dispute of the Muslim intelligentsia was hovered over or centered around the Quran's nature. How do we treat the Quran? What the Quran means to me? So God, the people are, I feel that this century, generation, Muslims are made of collecting money. For it never finishes, it started from Bosnia and Chechnya and Afghanistan, Iraq, Palestine, Syria. We are busy with collecting money, and the Quran is waiting on the shelf in the form of a book. Okay, so the word listen to the stars, listen to their harmonious address, all together in a harmony. Zayyana It has harmony as well. See what wisdom has emblazed on the degree of its light. It means what wisdom he is really inscribed on the design, embellishment, right? Embellishment. There's a wisdom there. See that. All together, they start to speak with the tongue of truth. Speak with the tongue of truth. Speak with the tongue of truth. The haq, which it is also a Quranic word, the truth, haq, in Arabic. It's a Quranic word. In the creation of everything, there is a truth. What is the truth? They point to the absolute qualities of the Creator. That is the truth. So what we discuss about what usually, unfortunately, whether the things are happening, I don't know whether I should go into that. The periods of 13.7 billion years, how it is developed, we don't listen to the truth, what they tell us. 17 billion years. So what is the truth in it? What does it signify for you? What does it mean? There's a harmony, there is an order, there is a balance that it points to the conscious will behind it. It's a deliberate act of creation. It cannot happen haphazardly. There is a perfect order. This perfect order is so finely tuned, no one, even not that much finely tuned, no human mind can attribute it to accident. Whether it is happening now, whether it is the sequence of the events, doesn't matter. The order as it is now is perfectly tuned. The order as throughout time is also perfectly ordered. I'm just referring to some sort of arguments that are very prevalent nowadays. The things are happening by themselves. This kind. We have to be careful. By looking at the thing itself right now happening, and see what does it refer to? What is the sign or no? It is a sign pointing to what? We have to look at this. For example, somebody may say, oh, these are glasses, okay, made of plastic. What is the truth in it? What is the truth in it? Made of glasses by itself? Can it be? So there's a purpose, there's a design, there's an order, there's a balance, there's a calculation, perfect. But so the truth, we have to try to see, or we have to educate ourselves to see the truth in the existence of the matter, not the matter itself. But this is a plastic. So what shall I do with it? Plastic. So what? There is no truth. We are subject to, or we have gone through education. This education, whether I don't know, I don't say that, I don't divide education between religious education and secular education. Education is the same, whether you recite the Quran or learn how to read the Quran, learn how to practice some religious rituals, or just look at anything, any matter in the lab or in the real world there. We have to look at the truth in it. Equal. There are no although it's not our subject, but roughly, there are no two types of knowledge, science, religious sciences or material sciences or secular sciences. There is one kind of knowledge, whether you learn the truth in what exists or you just deny and cover up the truth and reduce the glasses to plastic and organic glass, whatever, I don't know how they are called, the glasses, the plastic. And how thick it is, what color it is. That is a reduction. Do we get this reduction? We have to see the truth. If it is black, I have to say, how come it's black? How? It is plastic. Who made it plastic? Who preferred it? Who made these two arms? For what? The purpose. The truth always lies in the quality of the conscious maker, which is called in the Quranic language. It is important to notice that the qualities of God means in the Quranic language, al-Asma al-Husna, the beautiful names. So truth in the creation is nothing but the qualities of the creator manifested in matter. So we have to look at the glasses. What we should see? Manifested form of design, manifested form of act of creation, manifested form of order, manifested form of measurement, manifested form of wisdom. These are the laws of creation. They are not laws of, the laws of nature is just a misnomer or misnaming. Is it the right word?
Misnomer.
Misnomer. That's a misnomer. Laws of the qualities of its creator is manifested there. When you look at a piece of art, for example, what you see in the piece of art, no one pays money or attention to the piece of art because of its material. Why should I pay thousands of dollars for this machine? For the material? Not the design, the order, the program. The machine, the material is nothing, plastic or metal.
But then you're touching upon purpose.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Purpose, order.
Design.
Yeah, knowledge.
Knowledge.
Manifestation of power, manifestation of mercy. He's speaking to you and saying that, no, look, I know you, you need it. I know you, you need it, you like it, you enjoy it. It's communication, conversation. As the Sister Asha said, you feel the personal interaction, the personal conversation there. In the creation also personal conversation. When you read the verse in the morning and start reflecting on it, you say that your creator is speaking to you. When you go out or inside, when you drink your tea, don't you see the personal conversation with you? The same. The truth is not in the molecular structure of the tea. Truth is in the truth that the creator of the tea is telling you that he knows you, he entertains you, and he is really communicating with you by giving you this gift. You are his guest. He is the host. Right? Shall we carry on? Or is that enough? So all together, they start to speak with the tongue of truth. Tongue of truth. It means, tongue of truth means the author is saying, look, don't lose yourself. How big the galaxy is. How many stars are there in the galaxy? 1 million? No, you must be joking. 1 billion at least. Okay.
Trillions. Trillions.
Trillion. So whether 1 million or 1 billion, what do you make out of it? Knowing the number means nothing. What does the number represent to you? That's the question. What the abundance? Abundance is a sign to what? So you have to see the truth. The Creator is ghani. It doesn't need anything. He just creates it with no effort, nothing costing, and with him nothing lacks. Galaxies, it's crazy. When you look at the galaxies, it is really crazy. No end. Go and go and go. What you end? You think that you are going to reach the end of the galaxies? You start seeing that not only galaxies, clusters of galaxies. What's going on? What is going on? It is the truth is manifesting, demonstrating itself. It is absolute. The power is absolute. No need of anything. That's the source of all for us. Where to say, oh, the Creator, you are absolute. I belong to you. It's beautiful, guaranteed. Yeah, that is the insurance. The life insurance. Not only life insurance, in fact, it is existence insurance, that we exist eternally because of our eternal absolute Creator.
Dr. Ali, this reminds me of the story of the people of the cave when it says that doesn't matter how many people were they. So, like, doesn't matter how many stars are there, so what it means to you. So.
Yeah, 4, 6, with the dog 7. No. They were 6, 7, but with the dog 8. God says, don't lose yourself in numbers, letters. Look at the truth. Yeah, what do they converse to you? What truth they converse to you? They address the majesty of the all-powerful one of glory's sovereignty. Yeah, he is the sovereign, the one who is demonstrating this beautiful, spectacular scene to you. Says, I am the sovereign. I am the owner. I am your Lord, guaranteed. So we are. Each of us light scattering proofs of the existence of our Maker. They are the proofs. Read them, listen to them. We are witnesses both to his unity and his power. That is being particular now, unity and his power. We are the product of the same source, right? If the galaxies, all of the galaxies are the product of the same source, we are the product of the same source. Yeah. And I am the product of the same source. The earth is the product of the same source. The animals are the product of the same source. If you like, we are all together the children of the same source, creatures of the same source. The Muslims are a little bit sensitive about the word children. So, but that doesn't matter. You can say we are all brothers. We are all friends.
It's
Why?
the unity of the entire
Universe, yeah. You
system.
cannot make a division between countries,
No.
between galaxies, between races, even between animate beings and inanimate beings. I have to be respectful to you as much as I have to be respectful to an ant. I have to be respectful to a piece of earth. I have to see it as a sacred being, as I see you as a sacred being. Human dignity, human respect, yes, definitely, yes. But how about the earth's dignity? It's speaking to me the same truth, the same truth. I have to respect the prophet as the messenger who brings a message to me from God. I have to respect the tree as a messenger who brings message to me from my God. Right? One of them speaks with the language I understand. It's better, but they are both messengers. So this is how we should establish the unity of the Creator through seeing the unity of the creation. You cannot really separate one part of creation from another. You cannot say, these are the tables made by carpenters, but these are electrical lights made by electricians. So you can attribute two different sources as far as human relationship is concerned. As far as the existence of the whole universe is concerned, this is a whole and pointing to the unity of their creator as a whole. So none of the creatures of this creator is more sacred than the other. This is the very dangerous thing. So it shakes the foundations of understanding of some places are more sacred than the other places. Some nations are more sacred than the other nations. Some creatures are more sacred than the others. If you see that they are the parts of the same whole, can you say this computer, this laptop, okay, I can get rid of the screen, for example. It's not a laptop anymore. The integrity of the whole parts makes one unit. That's why this part is as important as the other part. I cannot really say that this was not important. The Chinese people are not. There are more than 1 billion one. You can kill as many as you want. For example, the animals, for example, all the forests, plenty. Let's just cut them and use them as we want. No, they are all truth conveying messengers. You want to say? Yeah.
So, like when I see evil or something that repulses me, it's hard for me to remember that it's from God. It's hard for me to see it as part of the unity.
So where is evil?
So
I think, I understand, but we studied a lot of this subject. Evil is not in the creation. Evil in the eye of the beholder. So your interpretation of it. For example, this is a very common question. Thank you for asking. So if I see that this is harmful for me, it is evil for me. But the existence of it is not evil. I need it. Because there is truth in the existence of it. For example, let's say cancer cells are evil for me. I don't want it. But there is truth in the existence of the cancer cells, which says my creator is absolutely knowledgeable one. My creator is the absolutely wise one. It tells you that this world is a transient being. Don't get lost in this world. Anytime these soldiers of God can come to you and knock you down. Death is not evil. Death is which is more evident sign. Life or death? Death. Sign to what? We are created beings. We are dependent beings. We cannot declare our independence in existence. You can declare your independence politically, but in existence, we are utterly dependent on the one who owns the whole universe. So I am paraphrasing it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Evil also is in the eye of the beholder.
They're just like stop signs for you. They're not inherently evil. They're just
No.
guidelines that you should
Yeah.
stay away from it.
Your reality. Tell our
Change
your
direction,
reality.
that's it.
Yeah. Tell our own reality. For example, tsunami, I don't want it, but my reality is that I cannot really control the oceans. I cannot really control the atmosphere. So it is in the hands of somebody who owns, who is the sovereign on this universe. I'm not. I have to acknowledge him. By acknowledging him, I will fulfill my purpose of existence. So they are not evil. But you run away from it? Yes, because we are given the sense to protect our life. Yeah, to protect our life so that life will be precious. Can you imagine that we were not given the sense of protecting our life? We wouldn't even notice the value of life at all. So we wouldn't notice that the life giver, how gracious he was when he endowed us with life. So we wouldn't notice that even our creator is the life giver. He is the ever-living one. Impossible. So the purpose of the existence is good, but my relationship with it is not that I will like and get it. I will run away from it, like the teacher. If you don't, if I, not you, you study. So if I don't prepare myself, my teacher gives me, let's say, extreme sense, 0. Okay, F. Do you think getting F is evil, or the teachers giving F is evil? No, my getting F is evil for me. That's why in the eye of the beholder. So I should try not to get F, but when I deserve, the teacher gives me F, not because he's angry with me, he hates me. He tells me what my reality is. You have not studied it. I say, yeah, I did not. I better should study. So that this is the encouragement to study. It is not the real punishment. So this sense of punishment must be revisited to me, reinterpreted. Sense of punishment. God punishes not because as the angry God, as we see in, especially in Torah text, that angry God angers and burns everything, knocks the people down. No, the punishment is like the punishment of the teacher who gives F to the student who has never done any work. But if you ask the teacher, are you happy that when you give F to the students? Not at all. I want all of them to get A+. I will be proud of it. But I have to teach them that they have not prepared for the test themselves, for the test. That is out of mercy that the teacher gives F. Out of mercy. Not anger. We have to understand that. Even they say in Islamic tradition, we have to see the mercy in adab, anger. We have to see the mercy in Allah's, if you like, anger. I would, of course, the word expression is, of course, we say the teacher failed me. But in reality, teachers didn't fail you. You failed yourself. Teacher just let you realize that you deserve to be failed. You'd better study. Take care of yourself. So the teacher is very sorry when he gives F. I used to be a teacher. I never liked giving this. If I see their paper, full answer, I know some students are always ready. So when I when I was marking these papers, nowadays they do it on blackboard or whatever they have taken. Now we used to use papers that time. So I used to show it to my wife. Look what I've done to my student. Yeah, brilliant. So look how you got what I told. Really exactly. Look, I was proud. When its paper is just blank, almost nothing, I used to hide it. It's not my student, but I used to F, all right? Give F, but I never said, look at my student. This is obvious. God's, we call it wrath, is mercy. We should understand that. That's what the verse says, my mercy encompasses everything. وَرَحْمَتِي وَسَعَتْ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ means it's very important. My mercy overcomes, encompasses everything, including the hair, including the tsunami, including the, I don't know, storms or death or wars. We have to see mercy there. Mercy, there is mercy there. See, I'm doing it as a result of mercy. That's what you needed for your education. This word is, they say, we studied long ago, maybe Eric, you have to remember those people who were with us for years. So they are familiar with this word, this expression. People say this is as interpret the verse, the Quran. This word is the word of test. No. We have to understand this test in terms of training, education. If you don't understand the test, you are doomed to confuse. No way to do. You'll confuse everything. Not the test, it is then training place. We are here to get education, to train ourselves. That's the training place. When you are training, what do? They give you the lesson, they ask you to study, they put some obstacles on you so that you will develop your, the training centers. You go there, you run, and you lift, you try to lift heavy weight. Mm-hmm. Why do you do that? Are you crazy? Why do you try to lift this heavy weight up? Why do you bother? You say, no, it helps me. Yeah, it helps me, develops my muscles. You see this, it's obvious. This is a training place. Also, although there seems to be some hardship, yes, through the hardship, I am trained. If there was no hardship, I would lack training. My muscles will be so, how do you say this word? Say it, not strong, weak,
Flimsy. Soft,
rubble, yeah. So no one likes it. So, of course, this is physical. Let's speak about the spiritual side of it. My understanding, my realization, my consciousness becomes weak. I wouldn't realize anything. I wouldn't realize my reality. The word is here, the truth. The truth, the tongue of truth is in every act of creation. No, in every act of creation, the truth is speaking. Tsunami is really conveying the truth to me. The earthquake, the war is really conveying the truth to me. Never forget, this is from creation side. Creation. The creator is wise, creator is merciful. So creation side, not that I will kill people and teach them that their life is transient. So, yeah, can you imagine? Somebody comes and says, this word is a transient word. It's not a permanent word. So I will show you, demonstrate and kill you. For example, we shouldn't misunderstand it. Okay? So let's go further. That we are subtle miracles gilding the face of the sky. Subtle miracles. Now we are created. Oh God, let me see. Oh, okay. Shall we stop here? Let's start from miracles, because miracle is a problematic word and has an historical background, misunderstood. Yeah, let's stop here. The time is already 2 minutes up. I mean, not only the deadline is 2 minutes up. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. So those people who have the books, when you read the books, be careful to dig the deeper meanings of the word in it, and watch out. You will see the link. Each word is not like in computer link. When you click on it, you only what do you do? Click on it, it opens a new page, a verse, the Quran. That this book is so speaks in a secretive way. So almost the keywords, there are some keywords, when you click on them, it means understand, not physically click on them. It opens a new page, and this new page refers to the Quranic verses. It's a beautiful preparation to the Quran. Yes, please.
How is there mercy in?
Excuse me, somebody is speaking. You have to respect. Yeah.
How is there mercy in eternal hell for those who are condemned to hell for eternity? Like, how is there God's mercy?
So the eternity of hell is disputed, one thing, and also what we understand from hell is another matter. So I always say, in a rhetoric way, or not it's a metaphor, it's a metaphor, we should stop thinking about hell in terms of the cultural inheritance. So we hear the hell, for example, we have no time, but I can ask you, what do you mean by hell?
Suffering.
Yes, sorry?
Suffering.
Where, how, as a result of what? So who is suffering? Who is the sufferer? Sufferer, makes you suffer. Who is suffering as a result of what? This miracle, and if you come next Saturday, we can talk about it, how we see these kind of things. These are problems that occur in our mind as a result of the traditional cultural understanding of the concepts. Of course, we are here to solve these problems. I appreciate the question, but when I have to at the same time appreciate it, but at the same time I have to warn all of us that we should never take a word from the culture and then analyze the subject within the cultural context. You cannot solve any problem. So we have to open up our minds. For example, if I say, I'm here in my office, this is my prison. If you just take it, the prison you mean in your mind, somewhere in the outside of the city, and there are barbs, wires, and the guards, etc. You are saying, this man is saying that this is a prison. No, I am saying something that I'm deprived, I feel suffocated. It's not a prison, it is a school, it's a university. So when I say prison, you should just divorce or get rid of your previous understanding of prison and see the analogy here. What I'm trying to say. So the concept of hell must be clarified what it means, so that you can understand what eternal hell means and where is the mercy in the eternal hell. While I'm speaking like this, I speak to you, and at the same time, inside me is smiling and says, yes, really, there is mercy in the creation of hell. But what do we mean by hell? Inshallah, remind me next Saturday we can talk. These are the vocabulary we have to clear up, actually. Thank you very much. Thank you. Inshallah, see you on Wednesday.